sports, while we were on a brief vacation, has ignited the world with pride, unity, love, and newfound respect for a sport that they thought they'd never respect, literally never respect. Because, no, ask yourself this: who should respect soccer? Anyway, the World Cup is one of those sports where even the most anti-soccer person like me has to respect what is going on. Countries who can't put together a working government, countries who still have the slave trade, countries who share the commonality of American intervention upheaving their entire civilization, can put together a soccer team that has managed to do really well, right? How they've beaten some of the most civilized countries with the most elite soccer teams. Some of those losses coming down to sudden death. And I'm talking sudden death that was really good, fun to watch, great day of soccer. Some countries were hosted by the country currently bombing them with no shame or regret, making their World Cup experience treacherous, right? Though we point out why that was last week, FIFA is a gangster organization, right, Charles? Gangster, whose pocket and other orifices open up to the person with the biggest wallet, amongst other things, right? Iran did well, but ultimately got shafted by the organization, right? LeBron told the Lakers he was going elsewhere to ride out the rest of his career. Well, though, that's assuming that the Los Angeles nursing homes have a basketball league for him to enroll in. Either way, the Lakers will be on one less flop away from winning the NBA Finals next year. The NHL draft was held. Florida unites the Tkachuk brothers. The Detroit Lions light up a dumpster fire in their locker room and call it a day for the rest of the foreseeable future, and other things. So, Charles, since we last talked, what happened in FIFA, the World Cup?
Well, I think that it's clear to see that alien invasion did happen on the 24th.
You knew the alien invasion was coming.
It was happening. Yeah, it happened. And, of course, they wiped your memory like they did with that little stick in Men in Black. So, Justin was talking about he thinks he got probed. He probably did because, he's just probable, right? Some of us are more probable than others. So he was.
You said white folk are more probable than others?
I said some of us, not some of you people.
That's probably why Eazy-E was took the last week off, right? He didn't want to get probed the next week. Come on now.
I did get probed.
You got probed?
Yeah, but in the VIP section though.
How'd you like it?
That's what you call it, your VIP section? You call it your VIP section?
Yep. Okay. The higher echelon.
Mm-hmm. The higher echelon of the lower body sphincter. Okay, I get it.
What, they use a different type of probe or what?
I can't say, it's a secret. You have to wait till disclosure day.
Wait, I thought that already had came and gone.
No, they probably released it and then brought it back. Released it and then took it back.
Like we do with racism in America, right? We release it and we bring it back, then we just release it at a very comfortable in the proper moment. Oh my God, racism lives. And then after elections, like racism is gone. It's back.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's back. Racism comes back with every election cycle.
Exactly. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, the round of 32 is on its way, right? Paraguay took out Germany in a sudden death shootout, ending the match 4-3. Which, by the way, did you guys watch that game?
I saw some highlights.
I've been watching most of the games because I have a little bit of money on it. So I have my picks, and right now I'm in the top 13 percentile with my picks. So I'm doing pretty good.
Did you listen? You probably listened to last week's episode about with Charles giving his bets, huh?
Hey, you know what? I said, everybody, my advice is don't gamble, but if you do, you need a budget and you need to stick to it. And remember, you're not going to retire from it. It is not a second revenue stream or anything really nice sounding like that. It is a drain on your personal economy, but it is fun. I get that. And remember, that takes us Brendan Sorsby, who, the quarterback, he the NFL canceled the supplemental draft just so he could not get drafted. And now he's ineligible. He cannot play in the Canadian Football League. He cannot be drafted in the NFL until 2027. And here's how bad gambling is. Over the course of his college career, 4 years, he placed 9,000 bets. I'm not saying he won $9,000 or lost $9,000. I'm saying he placed 9,000 individual bets. They say totaling right around $90,000. So, I mean, in my life, I don't know if I'm even at 100 or maybe, 100 bets, maybe? Yeah, 150. And I'm going to turn 65 this year. That kid isn't even 25.
And you're not playing college sports.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, right?
They say he never bet on a game that he was playing in, though.
Come on now.
What they say.
Come on now.
I have to go by what they say. That's what his interpreter
have to go by what they say.
That's what his interpreter says.
Hey,
he never bet on a
now
game.
I'm gonna give you the conspiracy theory side to those I didn't bet on my team side. When you can control the outcome of a game, more money, 6, 7. Come on now. When you control the outcome of a game, you're gonna bet. Of course, he's not gonna say, because then he'll be a darker horse than what he is, and they will ban him for life.
Right.
He will be the next Pete Rose. So I'm not gonna bet on myself. No, I don't bet. I bet on everybody else, but myself. Really? Come on. When I control the outcome of a game, I'm not gonna bet on if I win or lose.
Here's the loophole. If you are betting on yourself to win, you might be able to wiggle out of it a little bit. Remember,
by the way, USA just scored a second goal up
USA
2-0.
just scored right there. Look at that.
Solid.
You know what they?
By the way,
you know what they say about betting, though, right? You're just one bet away from getting your kneecaps broke.
Yeah, missing fingers. Yeah, all that stuff.
If I were an athlete, we were trying to get a. By the way, today is Bobby Bonilla Day. For those who don't know, today is Bobby Bonilla Day. I would get a contract on Bobby Bonilla. He essentially got a $6 million deferred, $6 million deferred into $30 million. This was because the Mets thought that they'd take those $6 million and give it to Bernie Madoff to make $60 million out of those $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up, of course, losing everything to Bernie Madoff, but they're still paying almost $2 million a year. Every 1st of July, they pay almost $2 million a year to Bobby Bonilla up till 2035.
Yeah.
That's a kind of contract, a deferred contract that I would take. That's a retirement pension right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about blowing my money away, because I have $2 million coming every year for until the age of, he's going to be what, 72, 73 when the contract expires. That's a contract right there.
Yeah,
that is a
contract.
contract.
And only the Mets. Only the Mets. We right now have Juan Soto. Well, what's he doing out there in the outfield?
Oh.
I've seen him. I mean, the ball, it's like what do I do when it rolls to the wall? Let me think back to Little League. What did they tell me?
I think he is regretting that signing with the Mets. I think if he could do it over again, he would take less money to go back with the Yankees or play with another team other than the Mets, because the organization from administration on down, it's just
garbage.
It's they don't know how to administrate. So it's basically, he goes out there and he's doing great offensively, but they put him out in the field defensively. What is he doing? He's picking flowers or something? I don't know. He's looking more like Manny Ramirez out there in the outfield. Almost like, let him just DH.
As you start to coach next year, you'll figure out what that is, having athletes that just sit in the outfield picking flowers.
Oh, they'll be sitting down for a long time if
anyway, right. So Paraguay, man, took on Germany and 4-3, and it was the last goal of the sudden death round that got them into the round of 16. And I tell you, it was phenomenal. It was a good game all the way through, and the sudden death back to back, right? And so they ended that match 4-3. France defeated Sweden. Guys, we got to talk about Mbappe here in a minute, right? France defeated Sweden easily, 3-0. France will play Paraguay in the round of 16. Canada beat South Africa 1-0. Morocco beat the Netherlands, and again another sudden death shootout.
I actually picked Morocco to beat in my picks. That's probably why I'm up in a 13%. I actually picked Morocco to upset the Netherlands, which they did.
I was
going to pick Paraguay to upset Germany, but that was like Germany is too strong, so I picked Germany. And look, I would have been up in a top 5 percentile.
Yeah, you should have. And see, that's interesting. You picked that right because because it went to sudden death, you got to see the skill of the goalies, right? And clearly, the Germany was definitely not in that department as strong as the Netherlands were. The fact that Morocco did beat the Netherlands was surprising to me because the goalie was more on point than say like Germany in the sudden death. Like Germany, he would jump to the other side, thinking it was going this way. It seemed like the Netherlands were kind of on point when it came to that. And so the fact that was an upset was impressive. But again, it came down to sudden death, and that's kind of at that point it was anybody's game. And you saw a few of the Netherlands players try to fake one side and then kind of wrap their leg around to kick it to the other side, and the one guy just flat out missed. But that's impressive that you picked that, because let me tell you something. I don't think I would have gone with Morocco at that point.
I picked them, and the other upset that I pick is going to be, I think they play Friday. It's Australia versus. I picked Australia to beat Egypt.
Okay, that's one we'll talk about here. Canada and Morocco, they'll play each other in the round of 16, so that should be an interesting match. Especially Canada hasn't really been on it, right? Brazil beat Japan 2-1. Norway beat the Ivory Coast 2-1. Mexico beat Ecuador 2-0. Mexico moves on to the round of 16 for the first time in what, 5? Well, no, not 5, but 2 World Cups, 3 World Cups.
It's been a minute, and Mexico has never won the World Cup either. So they're really hyped about this possibly being their year, just like the USA is.
I think that the top 3 teams that can surprise are Mexico, Colombia, and US. Those are my top 3 dark horses. But I'm just looking at Mexico, and Mexico has not lost a friendly a match in like 12, 13 straight games. They've either tied or won the match. They haven't lost. So Mexico might be that top dark horse out of all the teams.
Mexico be surprising. I know they got that young kid. I think he's the youngest in the World Cup right now, right?
The Mexico?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of young ones because I'm telling you, USA's got a team that I'm very high on the US team, and I'm picking them not just to win this round. I picked them to win already the next round, whoever they match up against. I think they're going to be USA. I think they're going to at least make it to the final 8.
Okay,
yeah, US. I'm with Charles on this one. I think they're going all the way.
Well, the odds on the USA were down to, I took them at 45-1 a couple of weeks ago, and now it's down to 30-1 before this game right now with Bosnia. And actually, Mexico is 25-1 now. They were 66-1 when I took them at the same time that I took the US. So it's fun, even when I talk about gambling, not even just individual games, but you know what? A couple dollars here and there, and just see how it goes. Just see how it goes, you know?
Yeah, especially when you have such a strong underdog, you know?
Right.
Because right now, that's at 66-1 Mexico. I would have taken that bet.
Yeah.
I would have taken them odds because, I mean, those are great odds. Come on now. I probably would have taken my piggy bank and broken and taken some of my savings and dropped them in.
I bet on Justin at 66-1 for anything.
That'd be a winning bet, brother. Come on now.
I don't know what he's doing. Win an argument with his wife, you know, something like that. Justin is 66-1 underdog. I'll put 10 on it. Why not?
I know. That'll be a lost 10.
Lord knows he ain't won one yet. So, but you know what? 66-1. I'll go for it.
You have little faith. Come on now.
No, I said I would bet on you. Okay, I have faith. You're gonna win one.
Anyway, guys, England beat the DR Congo 2-1. They're moving on. Games we're still waiting on is Portugal and Croatia, Spain and Austria. U.S. is playing Bosnia right now. They look like they've got that one in the bag. Argentina plays Cape Verde. Cape Verde's been on one. They've managed to.
Cape Verde is the biggest surprise in the tournament. Period. No matter what happens to them next, they are the biggest surprise. Nobody ever knew. I didn't even know there was a country called Cape Verde. Come on now. And they come out of nowhere. This is the first team ever to go into the World Cup for the first time ever, and they make it to the knockout rounds.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but you have to give credit to Spain and their coach. Right. Anytime you go into a game with your backups in first and it turned out poorly for you, that was a gimme.
Well, Spain. I think Spain will make it probably after this round, but I think they might be knocked off in the round of 16. I think that the top two teams, my top two favorites, if I were a betting man like Charles, got the big bucks.
As he's betting on it.
I say the World Cup final is going to be France and Argentina, a rematch.
Nah, listen, brother. Here's the scenario.
That to me would be safe money.
Those are two favorites.
Here's the scenario, guys. It is America's 250th birthday. We need America and England in that final game. Come on. Needs to happen.
That would be poetic justice, huh?
Yeah. Match made in history right there. Come on now.
Well, we already won the Olympics. The hockey team won the Olympics. So I think it's fitting that we take this, in the same year we celebrate 250. I remember the bicentennial when I was in high school,
It's gonna be a great. Have you watched a commercial with what's the name, the U.S. 1980 U.S. hockey coach?
Herb Brooks.
Yes, Herb Brooks. He's in a commercial that they're talking about two guys in a bar, and one guy tells the other guy, "So you're telling me that USA is going to win it all? Is going to win the World Cup this year?" And then here comes Brooks out of nowhere. He says, "You don't believe in miracles?" I was like, "That's the commercial right there."
It was Kurt Russell too. Yeah, because obviously Herb Brooks is dead, right? And so they would have to bring. There's a game we're talking about bringing back dead people.
Who played Herb Brooks in the movie Miracle? Yes.
No. It's not actually
Herb Brooks. It was him, just digitized.
Oh, they digitized it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's commercial. That's why I thought it was so impressive. He's sitting at the end of a bar and he looks at both guys. He says, "So you don't believe in miracles?" Gets up and just walks away. I'm like, that's it right there. That's an omen. U.S. might actually win the whole thing this year.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's looking good. It's looking good, man. Yeah, Argentina's going to have something to say. France is going to have something to say. I know that. England's going to have something to say. Everybody got something to say. Everybody always got something to say about the U.S. They do.
Well, hey, we always got bombs to talk to other people. So let's rock and roll. They can say stuff. Anyway, let's talk about superstars, right? Talk about Cristiano Ronaldo breaks his World Cup dry spell by scoring 2 goals, misses the hat trick by just a couple minutes.
I like the other record.
Well, yeah, we'll get to it, right?
Seven straight games scoring a goal. Yeah, Messi.
That's
the record.
Yeah.
Messi is hands down. I used to think that they were 1-2, 1-2, 2-1, 1A, whatever. Mm-hmm. But Messi's longevity, because Messi's still playing like he's in his 20s, and he's gonna be
with 6 World Cups, he's got 19 goals, 8 assists. I mean, you're killing it, but at the same time, you got to look. The second somebody on Argentina got the ball, right? They just kick it to Messi, right? Just pass it the whole time. That's all they do.
But he's still scoring. He's leading every score in this. He's age 41. He's leading everyone. He has 6 goals already, leading everyone in this tournament.
For
Come
now,
on now.
right?
At age
For
at
now.
age 41 or whatever he is.
Justin, let me ask you, when George Peros was playing for the Ducks, do you think if they had all passed to him, he would score 40 goals?
I don't think so, man. He's got
So there you go.
him and Dusty Brown, brother. Dusty Brown couldn't hit the net if he tried. So
And Messi's goal, he actually came off the bench to score a free kick.
Yeah.
It was like, I thought it was Beckham out there because he bent it like Beckham. It was an amazing goal, and that's what got him to 7 consecutive World Cup matches with at least a goal.
Well, six World Cups. Don't give him that extra one. You know that
No,
you were
I'm talking about individual games, consecutive games that he scored a goal.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about this last podcast. Is that it's funny that he's out there killing it right now. Played 6 World Cups, 19 goals, gets a hat trick, and they show Patrick Mahomes instead of the celebration. Right? It's like, come on now.
Hey,
but to that end though, right? It's like we talk about Lionel Messi. He's probably done as far as his World Cup appearances. Him and like Ronaldo, they're pushing on as far as the the geriatric soccer league goes, right? But we have Mbappe, who's on France right now, and I think that he's on track to becoming, I would argue, one of the best soccer players ever, because he's at 18 goals, 4 assists. And he's only got 3 World Cup appearances. And so as far as that goes, I think he's projected to beat Messi and his record.
He's got a long way to go still. I mean, and that's where automatically you can bring out Pele, you can bring out Maradona, you can bring out, to me, Messi is number 1. He is the GOAT because look at what he's doing at the age that he's doing it.
Yeah.
I agree.
His longevity.
Mbappe's talking about with Cristiano Ronaldo is the age that he was, out there scoring those goals and still playing in the game. Same thing for Messi is that's impressive because you look at the superstars that we talk about and we've talked about on here, all these quarterbacks and stuff. It's like for these guys to still go play at the caliber they played when they were younger. It's impressive, right? That 19 goals is not something that you can say, he got 19 goals, the next guy's going to get more. It's like he's got 19 goals in that condition, at that age. It's like, that's impressive.
It is. But what I'm saying with where Messi goes head and shoulders above everybody else is that Messi is playing against different competition. Messi is still he's scoring. I mean, he had a hat trick in the first round, in the first match of the first round. Then he had 2 goals. Then he comes off the bench and score another goal. Come on now, it's like when we need a goal, let's go get Messi.
Yeah,
and Mbappe is going to be. He is great, and he's going to get even better. But my thing is, how long is he going to play for? Is he going to be as good as Messi at the age that Messi is playing? Will he be that good? Because Mbappe is, but they also had Thierry Henry, who was great for his time. But do you mention him with Messi in the same? No, you don't. So you have to give me that longevity. There's nobody has played at such a high level for so long other than Lionel Messi.
Yeah,
I would say this when you mentioned Pele. I just wanted to say this. Now, here's the thing when they talk about Pele being the greatest, it's like when you look at all athletes who played back in the day, got to remember that a lot of the things that Pele did and what makes him great is the trailblazing. He did things that weren't even done yet. Like, here's the first one to do the bicycle kick.
Yeah.
Now you practice that from the time you're 10 years old. But he brought all these elements to the game that weren't there yet. And that's why certain players are revered the way they are. And
I'm just saying, like, career, it's the same thing in baseball. Babe Ruth is like a guy, but would he be as, Because I don't think against pitching that you have nowadays, if he would play in this era, I'm not saying he would not be good, but I don't think he would be,
Well, I think, okay, so let's put that into perspective, right? I think that when it comes to someone like Pele, you got to see how long his records hold up, right? And so it's funny you mentioned Pele's because today Harry Kane, I think, beat one of the last records to be beat that Pele set, right? Pele set, he scored 12 goals in 16, not 16 World Cups, 16 international appearances, sorry. Played in 4 World Cups, 1958, 62, 66, and 70. The U.S. just beat Bosnia, so we're moving on to round of 16. He's the only player to win 3 World Cup titles, right? So Henry Kane today scored 13 goals in 3 World Cups, 2018, 22, and 26, which means he at least beat the final record for Pele as far as scoring goals in a shorter amount of time for World Cup appearances. The only one that Pele hasn't been beaten with is the fact that he's won 3 World Cup titles, which is 58, 62, and 70.
But
right?
you also have to look. You also have to look at the games back then. You only had 2 or 3 powerhouses. You had Brazil, you had Germany, France. You didn't have England. Those probably were your top 4.
East Germany was a powerhouse back then. Remember, Germany
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm saying. So you had all these powerhouses, but it wasn't developed as it is nowadays. Nowadays you have 30, 60, 48 teams that started this tournament. Now let's look at how many teams played in the tournament when Pele played.
Well, that's like with Jack Nicklaus when he was winning versus when Tiger Woods was in his prime. Yes. How many guys could actually beat Jack Nicklaus at any given time? 2 or 3?
Exactly.
2, and then you have
I would argue not even 2 or 3. I think there'd probably be about 1.
Yeah, look at the field that Tiger Woods when he was at his height.
Yes.
Now look at the fields now where you got 10, 15 guys who can win any of the majors when they come through. Yes. So there's that too. So not that I don't respect the past generations, but one thing, I was having a GOAT debate. I was talking about this whole thing with someone, and what it comes down to is this: we all have who we think is the best ever at whatever, and a lot of times when you look at whoever you think was the best ever, someone else, they at least have them in the top 5 normally, whether it's MJ or LeBron or Wilt Chamberlain or something like that, top 5, top 10. When you look at the overall, just think about it all the time, all the thousands of players, the population of the earth, if they said, hey, you know what? I think E is top 5 in whatever, you'll take it, I'm top 5. Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. Because right now, I don't think I'm top 5 in anything. I don't think.
Speaking of who I think is the best, right? This is where kind of the 2 worlds, soccer and football, meet. Is that the 96, 97 Packers, man, that had Reggie White. You had Brett Favre on that team, and I think that Reggie White was one of the best players. But that's besides the point, right? Is that we have the American soccer team, Alex Freeman, and a receiver, a part of that team, Antonio Freeman, who kind of collided in the same world this past week, is where Alex Freeman got his first goal, his first World Cup goal in the same, at least, vicinity that his dad got his first multi-scoring touchdown game. So that's kind of a cool collision of father-son moment as far as and sports connections there, huh? Did you guys watch that game?
I actually didn't watch the game.
I mean, you're just. I mean, I know some Packer fans, but I don't know any of my Packer fan friends, and I know some who actually lived in Green Bay area. They couldn't dig that deep to pull out that just obscure stat from wherever you Packer fans pull them out of, and just
while wearing a Fire LaFleur hat.
Yeah.
While wearing a Fire LaFleur hat.
On the other side,
that thing is embroidered too. That's an embroidered hat, so that's some good quality right there. That's amazing. Where'd you even find that, man? You have to join some special group or something like that.
Yeah, you can find that on T.D.G.S. Sports, brother. That's where you can get
it on eBay right now. So let me check Amazon or something. Can I get it there? No. By the way, USA won 2-0. The game is over.
That's That was a good game. I'm glad it's good to see as far as U.S. soccer moving forward. I know that U.S. has kind of had a bad name with the way that we kind of treated the teams around here and the kind of how it's been set up. I know a lot of people have been very, critical of that. However, have you guys seen the Europeans come to America and figure out it's better things on social
Yeah.
media?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they love it. Well, and that's why I say, look, a lot of us, and in all countries, you need to travel, and not just for to take selfies next to waterfalls and sunsets and things, but just you understand the garbage that you see from mainstream media versus the way things really are. And they're telling them over there how bad it is in the United States, and they get here and they're like, hold on, oh my God, this is fantastic. But it's just a lot of propaganda. And like I said, don't follow mainstream media, unplug, do your own research, get your ass out of the house, meet people, travel, experience the outside world. Don't spend all day staring into a screen. Having that, then you have a lot of activism that's, like someone said, we have today activism, which is dictated by algorithms. Things come to your feed and they say, hey, here's a hill you should die on, and everybody's ready to die on that hill. Get your ass outside and experience life for yourself, and quit letting a bunch of jackasses tell you what to think and how to feel. That's what everybody needs to do.
That's why you tune into T.D.G.S. Sports, brother. We'll tell you how it is, and you go out and experience the world. Go no further.
Yeah.
Go no further. We got your back, brother. Okay, so over this past couple of weeks, we talked about these replay systems, right? What I've learned when it comes to the World Cup and who makes the soccer balls is that the soccer balls are actually smart balls, right? I know a lot of people can't say that they have smart balls, but FIFA and the World Cup, their balls collect data,
smart, don't you,
right?
Justin?
They charge, and they send notifications to the ref the second they cross the goal line. So the ref never has to question, did that ball go in or not? It goes right to his wrist. His wrist says it was a good goal. I mean, could you imagine that if your wrist connected to your balls and gave you all the signals?
I'll buy 2 of those.
Hey, Justin, you don't know, but your wife actually has a watch like that, man. She's got your balls on her wrist. Every now and then she sends you a little shot. You think that's random, man? Call up that doctor appointment, man. Mystery is solved.
Oh, man. But I thought that was crazy, right? When it comes to like reviewing plays, it's like that takes like 99% of the trouble away. And on top of that, the VAR was phenomenal as far as what they got, offsides and everything else like that. It was like almost on the point. Like they would go and say, nope, I'm glad I called that dead, right? Or they'd review and take a goal away. It was like these guys, as far as their process for reviewing plays, it was on point. It was absolutely on point.
They're getting better with it, and now I guess they changed the rules also, where when a player is offside, even if one toe is offside, so they have this digital barrier, if you will, that shows them exactly where the player was. And there was a match, I forgot who I was watching. I think it was the Colombia match, the last time they played. And it was, I said it was a goal. They finished tied with Spain, and they had scored a goal, but they annulled the goal because he was offside. I said, no, that was a goal. And when they showed it, it was like the tip of his shoe was past that barrier. So it used to be you have to be full body or half body or one leg. Now it's any part of your body. If it's offside, you're offside, so there's no goal. That was a great match. My wife is Colombian, so I had to be rooting for Colombia that match. And I was like, no, that's a goal. But when they show the replay, I'm like, when did this change? When did they change the rule? And oh, his toe basically was offside, so he's offside, so no goal. And they ended up in a tie with Portugal.
Your wife is Colombian?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You are a brave man, You ever worry that one day you wake up with a Colombian necktie? You know what that
Yeah,
is?
but he does have his wife does have that watch that sends a shock to his smart
Oh
ball.
no, she has spikes.
Yeah, she gonna want it to get personal. She don't want to send them from distance. She gonna get right up on him and take him down.
Yeah, I went from Puerto Rican to Mexican to Colombian. So
Wow, it's a world tour right there, man.
yeah,
You know what they say here at T.D.G.S Sports? We're pretty diverse, huh?
We are, yeah. He won't say that he stopped for a vanilla latte around the way, but we know he did. We know he did.
But, and I went for the double chocolate dip too. Don't
Yeah, there
worry.
you go. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. It's like Starbucks, you know. You have your favorite flavors, but every now and then you're like, you know what? Let me try one of those.
I'm gonna try every single flavor at some point.
Exactly. You don't want to prejudge anything. It's like try every flavor and then make a choice. Make an informed decision.
Yes.
You can only do that by conducting proper research.
Yep. Speaking of proper research, I don't know how this ties in at all, but moving on to the NBA, right, is that LeBron told the Lakers that he was no longer going to play for them. He said he was going to finish his career with somebody else.
Okay.
They're trying to.
Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State is trying to get him to get up there. Well, and I don't know why Golden State is. It's NBA is a young man's league nowadays. You have to be able to run fast and shoot from half court, because that's all they do is run and shoot, run and gun. That's what it's called back in the day, run and gun.
You forgot run, shoot, and flop, brother. Run, shoot, and flop.
Right now, rumors are that Golden State is trying to trade for Anthony Davis and reunite him with LeBron James in Golden State with Stephen Curry, and maybe keep Draymond Green. Well, Draymond Green already rejected his offer, so he might get a pay cut to allow for that. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Lakers back in what,
2004. Was it 2004 with Karl Malone and Gary
Malone and the glove and bring all these old folks, bring them back over here. Let's try to win one for whatever.
We're gonna get you a gold watch. Who wants a gold watch?
and they brought in all these superstars. Everybody was chasing, and I blame on Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan didn't let anybody win. So everybody was chasing.
There's that Chicago plug.
Olajuwon actually sent thank you notes, and Clyde Drexler, they sent thank you notes to Michael Jordan for that 2 years that he retired in the middle of his career, because that was their only window for anybody else to win a championship, and Houston got both years. Houston won both years. So they got Olajuwon said, I got mine. Yeah, I'm good. Nobody else, not Charles Barkley, not Patrick Ewing, not Karl Malone, not Gary Payton. Yeah. Nobody else in that era won a championship when Michael Jordan started winning. After Michael Jordan won, that was it. It was over.
So it turns out, right, is that the Lakers did the same thing. They sent LeBron James a thank you note that says, thank you for freeing up our cap space, because they added Walker Kessler, and they're in conversations with three other players to bring them in, just kind of like that, to kind of start rebuilding the Lakers without.
Well, the Lakers have their star is Luka Doncic, so they have to look at trying to build. And if they want to stay competitive, and the Lakers are a traditional team, and I say traditional because they're always in the hunt for a title. They're always in kind of like the Dodgers in baseball. They're always looking to make it to the NBA Finals and try to win championships. So they were glad to move on from LeBron James, because not that LeBron James was not. He still is playing at a high level.
No,
he still can be a third option. I don't think he's
flopping for a third option.
He's not top option anymore. He's got to be third or fourth option, right? That's why he doesn't mind probably going to a team like the Warriors, because the top option there he knows is Stephen Curry. But how old are they going to be? What their average could be? What, 38 years? That's the average age of that team. And you're going to be running you're going to be running the Warriors if they go get
right.
Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Anthony Davis only plays about 18 games a year.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the other
thing.
thing.
He signed with, he never even suited up for him.
He's hurt. He's hurt for 60 games, and then the other 22 games he splits them. He has to play one day, and today's my day off. One day and take a day off.
You check them lifetime stats, brother. He don't be playing 60 games a year.
No, he misses 60 games because of injury.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. He plays the 22 games.
Not bad,
and then the 22 games he has to do load management for those games. That's it. That's what they call it now, load management.
Now he's doing some type of reality show where he's pranking people. You know, I wonder if he ever pranked his own team and they thought he was going to be in the starting lineup that night.
But my problem, my thing, or the problem that I see with the Warriors is they still have Jimmy Butler on the contract, so they're going to have to trade him. So who's going to be a trading partner for Jimmy Butler?
Well, not the Lakers, because from what I hear with the Lakers, and you look at the moves that they're making here. Justin can research this one; he'll like this one. From what I understand, the Lakers are trying to become the first, like in a long time, the first like all-white team to win a championship.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
LeBron theory out there.
They're going back to being the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yes, yeah, yep.
I was gonna say LeBron tells them they're gonna leave, and instantly they go find themselves a couple of Eastern European basketball players. Come on now, that's what they think of him, right?
It's gonna be. Hey, it's gonna be
right now. I think the NBA belongs to the San Antonio Spurs. Right now, all they need is their one power forward, a guy that can play defense and rebound. That's all they need to complete that team, and they'll be a dynasty. Those kids their average is what, 22, 23?
Yeah. It doesn't matter when you let teams.
They're all in their
let teams come back from 20-point differences. You don't deserve that spot, brother. Come on now.
I don't know what he's got in the day. They need Draymond Green.
Yeah. If they get a guy like Draymond Green, forget it.
Whoop ass out there.
That's all they need. If they get a guy like Draymond Green right now, and Draymond Green did decline his extension or his option contract with the Warriors, so they're thinking he's going to sign for less. He might be saying, no, I'm going to San Antonio. I'm going to win some more rings right now, because that's all they're needing is one guy to get. You don't have to score. You have Harper, Castle, Vessel. Yeah. You have, of course, you have the alien. Come on, you have a team that's average 20. They're 22, 23 years old. All of them, all their stars are under rookie contracts. Mm-hmm. They should have won this. And my brother-in-law hates me for this. My bad, Papa. But the Knicks did not beat San Antonio. San Antonio beat San Antonio.
That's
San Antonio,
point,
three of the 4 games in that series, San Antonio gave away. 3 of the 4 that the Knicks won, San Antonio blew. They gave them away. They blew those games. Why? They're young. They didn't understand how to manage the clock. They didn't know how to keep on pressing when they thought, let's kill the clock. No, put your foot down their throat. Do not let them breathe. You don't want to win by 10. You want to win by 50.
That's the whole 20-point differences, right? Is that it's like it was such a bad comeback that you almost want to question who called the shot. Did the league come in and say, no, we want the Knicks to win?
I'm not buying any conspiracy.
No, I'm not saying, but no,
the Knicks did what a veteran team does. They took advantage of the mistakes of a young team, and they just took them to school.
Yeah, that's my point. It's not the conspiracy. It seems so bad in that comeback that it seemed like that, but it really wasn't. You're right. They were taking advantages of a young team's, kind of mistakes as far as pulling off the gas, when they had that lead and kind of trying to secure it too early in the game to where the Knicks did, right? They were veteran players. They understood that, and that seemed to be a pattern every game where the San Antonio get ahead. and then they would kind of pull off the gas, and then the Knicks would come back in and say, all right, you're going to do that. Well, we're going to make you pay for that mistake. But the point was that it seemed so bad that was the case. Seemed like
one thing that I noticed with San Antonio not only has a young team, they have a young coach.
Right. That's true too.
And so they were out coached by a veteran, because Mike Brown is a tremendous coach, and he's with the Knicks. Tremendous coach. And he saw where the shortcomings were for San Antonio. He took advantage of and exploited those. The problem with I see with San Antonio is going to need also to get another coach. I don't think this coach is going to be the guy. The reason I say that is every time when your superstar never comes to you during timeouts, because Wemby never went to some other white kid that was on the bench. He might have been albino. But every time there was a break and you saw Wemby talking to one of the coaches, it was one of the assistant coaches and not the head coach, which tells me that they probably don't see eye to eye. I'm not saying that there's trouble there, but they don't see eye to eye, or Wemby doesn't respect that coach as much, doesn't look up to him as he should. He's not Popovich. Now, he goes and talks to Popovich all the time, does Wemby. He says after each game, he goes back and gets his criticism from Popovich. Popovich would have been coaching this team. Yeah. It would have been a different story. Well, because Popovich would have made the difference with these young kids.
The coach is young, but does he need a chance to, grow into himself as a coach? Because I look at different situations here. It's like Dave Roberts was with the Dodgers. In those, when he had that tremendous roster and they couldn't get over the hump, and people were talking about they needed to get rid of Dave Roberts, and at that time their criticism was valid, but Roberts grew into being a good coach,
a great coach. I would say great coach. He's a great manager. But one thing that Roberts acknowledged is that he has to have a relationship with his stars.
Exactly.
You have to have, and with this kid in San Antonio, young coach, he could be pretty good, but he needs to understand he has to establish a brother, father, son, some kind of relationship with Wembanyama. It has to be a direct relationship where it is.
On that note, speaking of not having a relationship with your stars and trying to get over the hump, the Bills canceled O.J. Simpson yesterday. Did you guys see this? The Buffalo Bills will no longer hoist him on as a monument or statue or any kind of picture on their new stadium for they don't want him to be the image of the club.
They're not going to got canceled. What you're saying is they just cut him.
Yeah, they cut him.
Okay.
No relationship there. He took his last ride up the 91 freeway for sure.
Well, it's a 405, but anyways, I get you.
Yeah, they came out and said, yeah, he's not the image we want on the stadium or the club.
Well, they're not going to honor him anymore because of the 2,000 yards and what he means to Buffalo history. So I don't know. I could see that, I could see that both ways type of a thing. If they did or if they didn't, if you honor him, it's about football and what he did with football. Or if you don't, you can say there were these heinous things that he did. But then again, you know what? The New York Giants still honor Lawrence Taylor, and his personal life was a mess, although he never killed anybody. I get it. But,
Yeah. Well, that's the question. When it comes to canceling, right, could we say that maybe the whole like Netflix miniseries about him and things like that, do you think that's kind of what could have led the Bills to say we don't really want that like associated with us? Is because the kind of the modern pop culture changed how people understand OJ versus, you have the football fans who see him as football, but they're trying to capture maybe not the football fans. They want new fans.
Here's the thing about OJ, though. OJ was not an objectionable human being. Like everyone who knew OJ loved him. The thing is, he just had this perverse jealousy control thing that he had with Nicole Brown Simpson. That's what it was. He didn't treat people like crap all the time. Everybody loved him. Everybody who knew him said he was the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. But it was just this one part of him that was this extreme jealousy this weird jealousy he had. It wasn't like that in other areas of life. People around him liked him. A lot of people did. A lot of people knew him. A lot of people loved him. But it was just this one dark thing.
On the flip side of that, though, I think it's team sports. The owners, whatever, they're afraid of the propaganda. They're afraid that, because right now, like Charles was saying, his accomplishments in the sport have nothing to do with his personal life. Whatever he did, he could have been a serial killer. That has nothing to do with his accomplishment in sports. If you're honoring him, that's your guy. You're honoring him for what he did for your team, not what he did in his personal life. And I think the social media, how it's evolved, and the influence that it has on all these decisions, cancel culture, all this stuff, their influence on if a guy is going to be revered or not has to do with, or if you dare you, and we're afraid of losing 10,000 fans in a sport. Okay, because you know what? Am I going to stop watching football because he murdered? Did I stop watching football when Aaron Hernandez went to jail because of double homicide? Do I stop watching because Lawrence Taylor was high half of the time that he played? No, their accomplishments on the field have nothing to do with their personal life choices. So I think we don't know how to separate those two. And we can say he was a horrible human being because he murdered somebody. Okay.
That's what but
you have to say he was a great superstar when he played football because of his accomplishments too.
And he was great in the Naked Gun movies.
To it.
Let's not forget that. The Naked Gun movies too. They're not the same.
He was a great actor too.
Yeah. The remake of the Naked Gun was funny though.
That was horrible.
Anyway, speaking of horrible coaches, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, right, proclaims himself to be cancer-free. Says he had a surgery to remove the cancer and rebuild his bladder, so no more depends.
Well, it depends on how the result of the final product of his rebuilt bladder, the outcome depends on that. How well does he heal from it? So, but I am happy for him. I think he is still good for the sport, whether it be college, professional, anywhere. He is good for the sport. He's been a great image, even when he was a little bit controversial in his primetime days. But I think it's good. I'm happy to see his success and that he is cancer free. I'm happy for him.
And by the way, Justin, you really flubbed that depends thing there. I saw where you were going. You didn't set yourself up right for it, man. But hey, maybe next time you're coming along just fine. And when you finally do open mic night, you're going to be on point, and I'll be there front row, man.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of,
I think one thing you got to remember when you mention things like this, and people may think I'm being negative, but it's like cancer. You remember, it can always, if it comes back, it's going to come back with a vengeance. I mean, I've known personally a few people who have dealt with cancer, been quote unquote cancer free, and then all of a sudden, 6 months or a year later, it comes back, and it's like it was amassing troops at the border and just wipes you out. So I hope it's gone. I hope Prime lives a long, fruitful life, what he has left of his life, and I think he's, wishing the best. But cancer is no joke. You're cancer free, and then all of a sudden, I got a scan, and then it happens. So sorry to be a downer, but I'm just saying.
No, I understand. I had a cousin that I saw pass away from cancer.
And they're doing well. They're doing well, and then it's like, hey, I don't feel so good, and then all of a sudden,
it's like falling off a cliff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. The comeback is always the worst, I think. And speaking of teams that won't have a comeback,
Uh-oh.
The Detroit Lions, they started a dumpster fire in their locker room, as Charles pointed out this past week. Is that they had to release a defensive back, Terrion Arnold, because he was arrested on charges of kidnapping and armed robbery. Right, but that wasn't the reason why they released him. They released him because the bill was set at $1 million, and the fact that he was probably going to be on house arrest, and they couldn't figure out if they wanted to put an anklet on him or not, which would have caused some kind of issues with him playing football. So the Detroit Lions seems to be in more of a bind than they wanted to be now than they were at the beginning of the offseason. Right.
A couple of years ago was their only chance to go to the Super Bowl.
I said a couple episodes ago that they missed their window. The Lions had a window. They had 2 years where they could have, but they couldn't, and they lost that window. And everybody just started jumping ship. You had Aaron Glenn left. Ben Johnson thankfully came to my Bears, and so Campbell is he's going to have to be like his brand of soup, biting kneecaps off, because he has nothing else. That team is going nowhere. It's going south. They're changing the entire offensive scheme now. They're going from a 2-man tackle where they had Gibbs and Montgomery. Yeah, thank you. They had Gibbs and Montgomery to just Gibbs now. They're going to a one-man show. I don't know
if Gibbs and his beautifully manicured hair can actually take that many snaps in a game.
Well, they say
he's been training hard this offseason.
Gibbs came out this past week and said he's training with, I think, a UFC fighter is what he said.
Right.
And kind of taking his training for the season, the next level. Right. So either he is more hopeful than us as far as the Detroit Lions go, or he recognized that maybe there's a loyalty to the team that might have a chance at revitalizing that or rebuilding that window to this season.
Well, I'm not saying he's not going to give 100% effort.
He may be like Miami, like A-Chain in Miami. He may be the only good thing going for them.
A-Chan's my boy, man. A-Chan's my boy. By the way, September 13th, I'm going to be in Vegas. Watch my Dolphins, baby, my Dolphins. At that beautiful new stadium the Raiders have. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, man, Malik Willis was a good pickup.
I think that the Lions they're kind of like in a soft rebuild right now. They're trying to draft pieces to make up for the pieces that they're missing, the ones that they lost in free agency, the ones that they traded away. So I think it's kind of like a soft reboot. Let's retool. Let's revamp we're not going to be under the Ben Johnson offensive now, so we have to get a new offense. That's probably why they went to a single back. Hopefully he has a great season. What I would like to see is hopefully he does not get hurt. Because he is good for the league.
Gibbs?
And the other problem they have is, with Jared Goff. Jared Goff can execute, but he's not the type of quarterback who's going to take a team on his shoulders and go out there and say, let's take this thing, let's win this game.
To me, he's a mechanical quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
You have to give him the numbers so he can connect the dots. He does.
Yeah,
he can't.
He's very. Tell him this, and that's what he's going to do.
That's it.
Which is why.
He's like
with the Rams.
Ron Burgundy. Whatever you put on the prompter, that's what he reads. That's what he does.
Ron Burgundy. Who put a question mark on the teleprompter? Well, that's true though, and that's why in systems that are really good and really disciplined and kind of cut and dry, where this is what you're going to do. This is the option of that receiver, right? Is that Goff succeeds, and you saw that with the Rams. But when he has to make calls that aren't necessarily, written down on paper and they're his own, he can't make those calls.
Improvising, yeah. Yeah, he can be at his best. He is the type, he's like Brad Johnson, old school Brad Johnson. I don't want to take him down this low, but, he's a Kirk Cousins type of quarterback. He has more raw talent than Kirk Cousins, but he's that type of a quarterback. He can execute.
That's it. But you have to design everything for him.
Right.
and he'll execute, but you have to design it for him. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not like the one
Caleb
that you
Williams.
traded for Matthew.
Oh,
That
Matthew Stafford?
Matthew Stafford. That's that kid. You know, a lot of people call me crazy, and I know people are gonna say I'm a hater because I'm a Bears fan. But
Which you are.
if I had to pick Matthew or Rogers in their prime, give me Matthew because he's gonna be the way his style of play is for the longer run. He was just on bad Detroit teams.
I
Terrible.
realized that. Once he got to the Rams, I realized how good a quarterback he was. Because to me,
Yes.
he seemed like he was kind of a choker, which actually he's not.
He's
Detroit was
not.
a choker type of a team. And what did they
Yeah.
call him in Detroit? They called him not Matt Stafford, they called him Stat Padford because his stats meant nothing. That's what the local radio people, they call him Stat Padford.
That's crazy.
And that's what it looked like he was doing. But it turns out he was in a toxic organization.
He was.
But
He
he
was
was in
at
his
one point. It
defense,
was
he was
just
still good. He was definitely still good in Detroit. Again, he was just dealing with a crappy team, which is kind of where the Lions
He
like to
couldn't
sit
win
and
a
where they're
big
heading
game
there
in
this year.
Detroit. That's the thing.
Yeah, he was still great. Like I said, this year he's still got a lot of games left to give. I think they'll be contenders for the at least late playoff run.
well, I think he might surpass Tom Brady playing age wise. He might play till almost 50 if he keeps on playing at this level.
Yeah,
Did he?
well, I think that's good that
Did
Ty
he?
Simpson came in because that gives him a little competition. Though we don't know how Simpson's going to be, but again, it's the idea that his job is questionable.
But
His job is
Nope.
in question.
All right. Speaking of having things designed for you, Brandon Ayuk claims his agent is the reason why his relationship with the 49ers organization went south, which is why they're trying to get rid of him and or keeping him from a trade. However you want to see that perspective. Charles, I know you said this was pretty bad. I haven't kept up much other than this and a few other things. What's going on?
Well, that's basically he said that he blames his agent, but I look at the things that he said, which was like the management of the Niners kind of stalking him, showing up at his house unannounced. John Lynch, he says, did that a couple of times, and he said all these other things. Then he says his agent is the reason why the relationship became what it was. I don't. It's no. This is he should, instead of saying his agent, say, well, what my interpreter did was this.
His agent is to blame because his agent should have told him, listen, turn off your phone, shut up, and sit in a corner. That's what his agent should have told him, and you'd be okay. Just be quiet, sit down, don't tweet, don't go on Instagram, don't go on TikTok, don't do nothing stupid. Take
Well,
your
that's what
phone
one of the
away.
players was saying. I can't remember who it was, but he said, yeah, there's guys on the team, they're playing, and at halftime, they'll go and check their social media to see what people are saying.
Yeah.
Now, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That's Trevor players nowadays.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk. The problem with him now is the Niners are not going to release him, so he doesn't want to play for the Niners. So it's like, okay, the Niners are waiting for him to sit out, so they don't have to pay him. That's going to free up their some of their money,
Right.
because they're not going to trade. He's untradeable.
And he's putting like "Go Commanders" on his social media feed and stuff like that. It's like, dude, just stop it. He's like Kevin Durant is on, when it comes to social media. Kevin Durant creating burner accounts and everything else.
Kevin Durant wants to go to the Knicks. Does it surprise
you? Of course he does. Of course he wants to go to the Knicks. Yeah.
Oh man!
I wish that was a joke, but I heard he actually wants to go to the Knicks. Like, yeah.
Speaking of older players that want to go somewhere else, but pick the wrong team. QB, I tried on that one. QB Geno Smith, he's being investigated for charges of battery. Someone who claims was an ex-girlfriend of his claims that he assaulted her. Could this end up as a issue for the Jets?
The Jets, the Jets are an issue for the Jets. That's what it comes down to. So I'm not even trying to hear about Geno Smith or anything. For one thing, if you think Geno Smith is going to rescue your franchise, you're nuts.
That might be the Jets' chance to escape from that signing.
Right.
We release him until because let's release him. Know that contract.
Then maybe they paid her $100,000 to say something just so they can say, "Oh, we can't have that sort of stuff."
Yeah. Speaking of not releasing bad players, Jordan Love has not been cut from the Packers. Matt LaFleur has not been fired. However, they were pretty bold this past week and picked up a third tight end. Josh Wiley from the Titans was picked up to add to the tight end room with Tucker Kraft and Musgrave.
So what are they doing? They're going 13 offense as well?
Yeah, I don't know. They're adding three tight ends and maybe no receivers.
Well, you've lost two of your receivers, didn't you?
Well, we re-upped Christian Watson, and that's kind of all we got at this point.
That's
Christian Watson and three tight ends.
How's that Micah Parsons thing working out for y'all anyway?
Not back until October, so that was a good deal for us.
Jerry tried to tell you. Jerry Jones tried to warn you. He said, he's a little bit injured.
What was it this time? Is Pinky?
Yeah.
No, it's still he's milking the whole ACL thing.
Wow, are you jumping on that brother like that? Saying he's milking a torn ACL? Really?
Yeah, he's milking it, brother. He's milking it. Not till October. What has he been doing this entire season?
Meanwhile,
you have the tight end for freaking the Detroit Lions getting ready to come back, and Parsons is what, hanging out still? Come on now.
By the way, I'll be in Los Angeles when they play, I think, the Cardinals, and I'm going to watch Micah Parsons. He's going to sack Jacoby Brissett 5.5 times.
Man.
5.5 times, and I'm going to be in the building when he does it.
How's he going to do it if he's on the bench?
He ain't going to be on the bench. We're talking about Myles Garrett. Oh, if Brissett is on the bench?
I thought you were talking about Micah Parsons.
No. We're off of Micah Parsons. He's done. Myles Garrett signed with the Rams.
Speaking of quarterbacks that are going to get sacked a lot because they can't see over the linemen, the Vikings added a fourth receiver to their receiver room, hoping to shake up their pass game. That is, of course, if Murray can either throw the ball and or see over the linemen. But they're hopeful their pass game could pick up some slack here.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
So I'm saying that the Vikings are still going to finish third in the division.
Yeah.
Charles is speechless on this. I know Eazy-E thinks that Kyler Murray is going to be good, but let's be for real here. Adding a fourth receiver does not make the quarterback good.
I'm being for real. I think Kyler Murray is going to be good. I think the Vikings are going to be a surprise team.
Would you really be surprised if they won 7 games?
No, I actually think they might be pushing the playoffs. They might be one of the teams contending for a wild card. Yep. Their defense is coming back intact. They had one of the top defenses last year.
They did. That's true. Absolutely.
They just needed somebody that can throw the ball. And guess what? At his worst, that short kid, that half a man or whatever you want to call him,
homunculus.
The little person is the correct word.
That little person, in his worst time, his worst day, he can play better than any quarterback that the Vikings had last year.
He's the Indian in the cupboard. You remember that old movie?
So that's him right there. Little Tom Thumb. Let's call him Tom Thumb. There he is, Tom Thumb.
Well, he'd be Tom's half brother, Leroy Thumb. But anyways, yeah.
Speaking of people on their worst days, the NFL creates a practice squad for refs for games to replace them if they suck or get hurt. A practice squad for refs.
I like it. Yeah.
I was kind of upset not knowing where the Blackhawks were going with this draft and trading their top pick. But I can see where we're going. We got Villeneuve, and we got we might be a little bit more competitive this upcoming year. So I'm like, I can see the small progress that we're making.
Hey, the
And
Blackhawks
seeing that we
they
switched
got
to the NHL
three.
from NFL reps.
Hey, they got 3 Stanley Cups in 5 years. That's it. They resurrected, so now they can go dormant for another 40 years, and it's okay.
We're gonna make it
Yeah,
20
well,
years.
Connor
Right
Bedard wasn't a
years.
good pickup for
20
me.
years.
Connor Bedard wasn't a good pickup.
Connor Bedard?
Yeah, Connor Bedard was not a good pickup for the Blackhawks. Come on now.
I'm no. They traded for
No, I know, but I know they got him. I'm just saying, like, as far as they go, that wasn't a good pickup because now you have to start thinking about people that complement Connor Bedard, right? And so the Kings did the same thing. They traded their picks back. They went from 15 to 18th to 70 something to like 80th pick. It's like you need to start picking up people sooner rather than later, right? That complement these players.
and that's what we had. We had our 3 draft picks. We picked up Villeneuve. We have we traded up for the 55th pick and forgot the other kid that we got. But 2 young, we get now. So we have a left wing and right wing now. Young, you both young. We traded for one, drafted another.
The problem with talking in a NHL draft, basically in America, is that we don't get junior hockey here. So all the junior hockey players, because I remember in my media days, and I could have covered the NHL draft a few times, but I didn't really have the knowledge. You don't see the games here. So at least when you talk about college football, basketball, anything, there's people are familiar, but everyone's just a name. You can count on one hand, like maybe the number of Americans who have actually seen the junior players play to know what their skill set is. Maybe you saw a highlight reel or something, or maybe you looked up their stats, but we don't have any like the junior hockey channel or anything like that where we can actually see these guys play. And that's the problem with the draft. I can't. It's hard for me to get into it because they say, "Well, this guy scored a bunch of goals." Well, okay, if you say so. I don't know what his strengths and weaknesses are.
I think you're right. I think you're right on that, right? So the number 1 draft pick, which was McKenna, I forgot his first name, but the only reason I knew like anything about him is because Netflix had a special on him. Right. And that was really the first time where I was like, okay, I finally know somebody in the NHL draft.
I knew when Sidney Crosby came out. I knew when what's his name? Jack Eichel and McDavid. I think they went in the same draft or, 1 year after the other. When Ovechkin was drafted, that was during the lockout. So I'd forgotten that he was even the number 1 overall. Not that I'd ever seen him play either. But there's lots of guys who were number 1 picks. Just get the NHL records or whatever, and look through all the number 1 picks and everything. There's a bunch of guys that if they didn't make, you never heard of, or some guys who just turn out being journeymen in the NHL. You're like, holy crap, he was number 1 overall.
Yeah, but I think unlike or more than any other sport, I think hockey is legitimately more chemistry than they need more. There's a chemistry build to the team more so than any other sport. Other sports can get away with not having chemistry amongst the players. The NHL, I think it's different with hockey.
Speaking of chemistry, here we go.
For guys that will puzzle together and be able to build that chemistry to get that team, because they go through rougher times. So you have to have that guy next to you, to your pick me up guy. Unlike other teams where you can go over 40 and okay, like. And the worst is the team that needs. My Cubs are back on the winning track, by the way, just to say. So we had our downs. Now we're back on our ups.
Yeah.
But
speaking of chemistry, though, if we look at how teams are building, that some of the stuff on the trading block currently is going to make for an interesting season coming up here. Is that if you look at like the Oilers, right, they're rebuilding, but you have Darnell Nurse is on the trading block. They're trying to get rid of him. hopefully picking up some kind of athlete to complement McDavid. But they made a good move today, which is they picked up Frederick Anderson, right, as their goalie,
Oh, an
which is,
actual goaltender. Okay.
yeah, they picked up an actual goaltender, and even though he's not young, they picked up someone that could actually play and not kind of like Skinner or someone who gets to a certain point and just stops.
Well, yeah, and Anderson had an outstanding season too. So it's I mean, it's not like
he got injured in the Cup final. That's what happened. There, he did get an injury in the Cup final, and that's why he gave way to the I forget his name, but the guy who ultimately closed out those last 3 games for
Boosie.
Yes.
But the point is, though, it's like that chemistry is they're trying to build chemistry with actual players now. I think the Oilers understood that that's kind of what was stopping them, right? The same thing with Austin Matthews. He's looking to trade or get out of Toronto. Toronto's not really in a hurry. However, but it's like they're looking for a team that they fit in with rather than kind of just a hostile environment.
I think Toronto's trying to get out of Toronto. Truth be told. Good Lord.
No, you think they're trying to get the team to get sold and move out of Toronto?
It's horrible. It's just horrible. Where do you even start with that team? The goaltending, the blue line, the forwards, where is if they made you assistant to the GM, advisor to the GM, what would you tell him? What would you tell him?
So you're saying it's like the movie Major League where the owner was trying to get the team to lose so that she can move him out of Cleveland?
Cleveland would be a good spot for the Maple Leafs, I think. Yeah, that might work.
Well, there's expansion being talked about.
I don't think the league needs any expansion right now. I think they're
talking about it. There's 2 other. I forgot where the cities were that they were looking at. I think Austin was one of them. So you never know, man. Maybe Toronto could qualify for an expansion and move rather than.
I think they were talking about Atlanta again too. Which I don't get under anyone who's been to Atlanta. I don't know how you could go to Atlanta and walk around and say, "Yeah, this place needs a hockey team."
But see,
YK.
See, to me, I think you should wait more years because you have expansion teams that you're going to take all these top teams and you're going to have to dismantle these teams. You're watering down your league.
Mm-hmm.
And you already have teams that are building towards something. Now you have other teams that are almost there. Like Colorado trying to retool to get because they want to go back and they want to get back to the Cup. You have Vegas; they're always retooling everything because they're in it. They want to win every year, so they're in it to win it, right?
Yeah. Well, their owner is an Army guy. That's the thing. You can tell. Yeah. He's an Army guy, and he's like he is always strategizing, to go to battle for that next season. I remember I was there when they became a team, and I got to interview him, and his energy, it's there, and he is definitely. And he even said, he goes, "Watch," he says, "I'm going to be a good owner. I promise you. The league is going to see I'm going to be a good owner." And sure enough, boom.
And I think other sports could take a page off out of his book. And how to run a team because, like I said, he's not trying to buy everybody. He's looking for. He understands that it takes chemistry to build a team, so he's looking for the proper pieces just to make this team. Who is my top star? Who are my top stars? Who's the coach that's going to take us to battle? And what are the other pieces that I need to find? Because we're thinking Stanley Cup. We're not thinking we're making the playoffs. No, we're thinking Stanley Cup.
He does it like he's planning the D-Day invasion before every season. That's really what he does.
Speaking of moves that might hurt chemistry, is that this was shocking to me. Is that Jason Robertson was on the trading block for Dallas Stars, who he's been kind of an anchor for their offense.
He turned down a big contract from the Seattle Kraken, so it's like at a certain point now people are talking about what exactly is he looking for. Because they offered him a huge contract and he turned it down. So what exactly does Jason Robertson want? That seems to be the problem right now with Robertson and with the Stars and everything else. Is what exactly is he looking for? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, well, what
I
is
could
he?
say $10 million question, but he turned that much down, at least from the Kraken. So,
Is it something though? Is it something where he's looking for the Stars to rebuttal, where he wants to stay on the Stars, and so he's trying to pull these contracts to see if the Stars will match that?
don't know. I mean, you got to look at, there is a new millionaire tax that's going to go in Seattle, I think, in Washington, I think in 2 more years. Whereas they tax you an extra 10% if you make over $1 million a year. So you figure every athlete in Washington's about to get hit, whether you play for the Kraken or for the Mariners or for the Seahawks or for the newly formed Seattle Supersonics when they started. It's like, hey, good, we need a basketball team. Look at all the revenue we're going to get from that team.
They're making a comeback.
They are, yeah. I believe they got approved. The Seattle Supersonics. They're going to be resurrected.
See, I'm glad. That's one thing I like about baseball. They have, and hopefully they haven't talked expansion. Maybe they'll move teams here and there, like they're trying to move that Sacramento team, the Athletics. They don't even have a home. They're not the Oakland A's anymore. They're just the Athletics.
Team, they're like the Savannah Bananas. But by the way, I watched the Bananas game this weekend. ABC had a game on from, I believe it was the stadium in Eugene, Oregon, where the Ducks play. That was entertaining. I'll admit it was entertaining. I'm ashamed because I thought it was going to be just stupid and horrible and everything, but it was entertaining.
No,
it tastes well, and those guys are actually good. They're good.
They're actually
not just fooling around.
And the trick plays. Have you seen the trick plays?
I did. Yes, I saw a baby.
And then the other thing is, as a fan, fans are involved. So if it's a foul ball and the fan catches it, it's an out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they have some innovative ideas to get the crowd going. And the thing is that their arenas are anywhere they go, they're always packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of irritating, though, is this past 2 weekends ago, Scotty Scheffler missed his Grand Slam achievement at the 2026 U.S. Open, and missed it by a lot. He didn't necessarily make the leaderboard towards the end. I think he jumped on there just right as the competition ended, giving Wyndham Clark his second PGA Golf U.S. Open win. So Scotty Scheffler is still searching for that Grand Slam in the PGA Tour, and whether or not he will get that in his career before it ends.
You were pretty high on him.
I was, man. I thought he was going to come in and get that, but he kind of came in like a leisure golfer. He was like me, just a little bit better at that point. He wasn't doing well, I should say.
Did he go to the Tiger Woods Academy afterwards? The after Tiger Woods Academy?
No, he went to Tiger Woods.
Was he sipping on too many mango carts?
I don't know what he was doing, but he was not doing well. I think it was almost as impressive as Bryson DeChambeau missing his third straight day 3 cut. Can't get to day 3. And so you see these big caliber players are starting kind of just to I guess, dwindle away in this sport. It was interesting. It was enough to where Bryson DeChambeau had to have his own video talking about why he sucked.
But I think in golf right now, you don't have really a top guy. So even if one has a bad week or bad tournament, there's still the field is greater than any one player right now. It's not like when Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus was playing with they were greater than the field. You take them against the field. And right now, I'm playing the field every single time because you have too many. They're at the same level. There's nobody that really stands head and shoulders above everybody else right now in golf.
Yeah. Well, that was the frustrating thing, right? Is that Scotty he missed his Grand Slam, but came in the next weekend at the Travelers Cup and won. Right. And so it's like you miss your major win and you get the minor the next week.
Hey, it's called pressure, homeboy.
Yeah,
I guess so.
It's pressure. Hey, I
guess so. And then it's awkward because Wyndham Clark comes in, wins the U.S. Open, loses the Travelers Cup, which was the easier course.
Hey.
But it goes to show he's still one of the top players because he can go back out after missing out on one of the top event. I wouldn't say he choked. He just had a bad weekend. It's not like he was on the leaderboard throughout the whole weekend and then all of a sudden he choked at the end. He wasn't there at all. He just had a bad weekend. Then he comes back the next weekend. He wins. He's back on track. So that still keeps him in one of the top tier players. He's still up there.
I think that when it comes to Scheffler, though, again, it's strategizing. I think that's kind of been his enemy, right? Charles, we talked about this before we left. Is that the greens were going to be tough here, and so that meant the short game had to really been planned out, right? You couldn't just go and hope that you land the ball right, kind of somewhere in the vicinity of the pin, and hope. There were certain spots on the green where it was going to be flat, and then around those certain spots, your ball was going to roll off the green or put you in a difficult position to have that short game, finish. And so I don't know, Scotty Scheffler really struggled with that as far as planning for that game. His, which is where he usually flourishes on the short game. The fairways were wide, which meant, again, it's like that planned out your short game because you have a certain area where you need to land the ball on the fairway. You get outside of that, then your short game adjusts, and you got to figure out where those spots are and how you're going to get back to that. And I think that when it comes to Scheffler, that's kind of been his enemy recently. I know it was even bad enough that McIlroy was he was also struggling with that short game too on these greens.
Yeah. Well, but I think if you go back and you look at like the majors, let's just take the Masters, U.S. Open, any one of them, and you go back and look at the last 5 champions, can you say that anybody repeated? Can you say that anybody repeated in every single one of them or any of them?
Well, no, you got the 2 though. The past 2 Masters was Rory. Rory got 2.
That's the past 2 Masters, but before him,
that second one, it wasn't an easy win on the second one.
But that's the Masters. How about the U.S. Open? When you look at a different one there, right now you can't say, okay, this is like you could say with Tiger Woods. You can basically look at his, and most of his came, winning mostly in the Masters because he won 4 Masters.
Yeah, I believe so.
So they have tournaments that they dominate. They have and then they become, but you don't have that. You don't have that one guy right now that has put their foot down and said, I am the face of golf now. You don't have a face of golf.
Yeah. And then speaking of that one guy, the Supreme Court rules that states can continue their ban on transgender athletes. So no more men in female sports. That is a rule currently held up by legal precedent. What do you think about that?
It's like this. When it comes to women's sports are women's sports. The records are not meant to be held by dudes in dresses. All right? That's what it comes down to. And I still don't understand why there's not more, we'll call it outrage, if you will, from the females in the female community. I mean, a lot of women are always bitching about men encroaching upon their territory, yet a dude puts on a dress and wipes out the female competition. They want to say that's fine. I don't get it. Come on, ladies, you got to back me up here. And the women are the only ones who really can make a difference because we're viewed as what? We're misogynistic and all this other kind of nonsense when men try to stand up for biological females competing in women's sports. And we're the bad guys somehow. Women, why don't you just stand idly by and let these dudes encroach upon your territory? And then all you want to do is just attack regular old heterosexual dudes. But a guy jumps in a dress and decides he's going to race in women's track meets, and you say, oh, good, another woman. No, it's not a woman. It's a dude in a dress. Okay?
I have nothing against transgenders at all. And when it comes to sports, like right now, if there were a transgender sport, it's okay. That's now you have to be transgender to play that sport. I agree with that. I don't think they should be involved in sports as biologically, and this is
Right.
Proven scientifically, men are built different than women when they're born.
40% more lean muscle mass across
Yeah,
the board.
yes,
That's the way it is,
carry,
you know.
carry less water weight, and so now my thing is, if we go into boxing now, I identify as I'm a transgender and I want to go boxing. I'm going to fight. So now you're going to allow a born male, to beat up. You'll be okay with beating up a woman in public?
That happened in the last Olympics.
So
It
was. But that's what I'm saying. So I don't think when it comes to sports, they should have their own division or their own events.
Except for co-ed rec leagues, like us regular people play in. Softball leagues, city softball, those are co-ed. That's a whole different thing. So don't any of you pinheads jump on here and start trying to bring up that. Don't take what I'm saying out of context. You know exactly what we're trying to say here. So any
professional sports
signaling idiots, I don't want to hear from you in the comments. Period. You know who you are too.
Yeah, I think, but Charles, I think that there are, like in California, there are like groups, especially like high school sports, that are standing up more to this and pushing back, because I know CIF definitely are going strong on that, like transgenders can play in opposite leagues, right? And so I think that there are more people just at the lower levels that get less airtime, pushing back from this.
Well, that's the thing. People will say, people will just make a nebulous statement. I think transgender people should be allowed to play sports. Okay, but you're not addressing the issue.
Yeah,
they should be able to play sports and ride the bus.
You know who says that though? You know the type of people that say that is people that haven't played sports before.
Well, and even people who have, but it's like they leave out the whole thing of, do you think that biological men should be competing against biological women at the highest levels? They won't answer that question. They'll just say, I just think that transgenders should be able to play sports. Yeah, they should be able to. I'm not saying they couldn't. But if you were born male, you compete with males. If you were born female, and again, sure, can females compete with males if they're good enough? Yes. But you have the physical differences with men and women.
Yeah, so some
men an advantage.
Some sports.
I mean, let's look at LeBron James playing in the WNBA. How would that go?
He probably cry as much.
He would score all the points for both teams. He could switch jerseys and play against.
And on that note, with LeBron James crying in both the NBA and the WNBA, we're gonna go ahead and cap it off here. I appreciate the conversation as usual, guys. I appreciate your support. You will find us on YouTube, Rumble, Substack, X, some other sites. I can't remember which ones right now.
Write it down, man. Write it down.
Yeah. That's the one thing I didn't put on the list. Anyway, we appreciate your support. We appreciate your comments. I know every time we post these shorts, we get new subscribers, and that's great. We look forward to you guys listening each and every week to Estrada's brother-in-law who tunes in. We appreciate you. Anyway, on that note, we're sorry the aliens didn't show up in person. I know some of you guys may have been probed, but that's okay. You'll figure that out one day. And on that,
there's one right there.
Thank you for tuning in to T.D.G.S Sports. We will see you next week.